No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today, I'm sitting down with Low Tier God. How you feeling, man?
It's unbelievable. I'm happy to be here.
It's unbelievable?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I went from like scrubbing toilets at Goodwill and taking trash off the trucks and selling it to No Jumper. That's crazy.
Right, yeah, quite a journey. You got a name that I've just been hearing over and over for the past couple of years. Yeah. And then I finally was like, all right, fine, I'm going to do the YouTube dive and watch like an hour, see what the this guy's about. Yeah. And I was pretty intrigued, and I got kind of deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole.
That's what it is. It's a rabbit hole. So if you watch one video, you can't get out the rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. It's just like, so what did you see that like made you want to be like, yo, I got to interview this guy?
I saw somebody who you seem like you have a really hard time not just being yourself. Mm-hmm. And we live in a world where if you want to be an influencer, if you want to be a creator, if you want to be out here doing this whole thing, there's a million examples of people who are trying really, really hard to protect a brand and an identity and to do something that's going to check all the right boxes so they can get the brand deals and so they won't have people making threads about them on Twitter. And you seem like somebody who, you know, has the potential to be this sort of clean-cut creator, but it's just not in you. It's just not who you are, and you just have something to say, and you just, you know.
Yeah.
They talk a lot about, like, the toxic gamer thing, and I think you sometimes are kind of used as, like, a substitute for that now. But, I mean, you're a young man coming up in this world. Aren't we all a little toxic on that trajectory?
I mean, yeah. So the thing about my whole story is I never got into it to be toxic. I just kind of was like, you know what, let me get a camcorder, let me record the monitor and just record what I'm doing. And it just came out naturally. And then over the years, it just went from me gaming to just doing stuff in media, covering viral topics, things like that. But obviously, I mean, in this day and age, you got to be on a filter.
Oh, so South Central? Or where in LA did you grow up?
Oh, where'd I grow up?
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit in South Central, so like off of 51st and Western.
Oh.
Was there for a while. My mom was like, yo, we got to get you out of here.
Was it gnarly?
I mean, stuff definitely happened on the street. Stuff definitely happened on the street. Yeah, it was some stuff that happened. So in LA, I was always that kid that I was quiet, I was tall, so a lot of kids wanted to try me. I spoke different. I was, you know, I liked video games. Like that, so I was always being tried.
Because there's this whole blurred trope now, but you growing up wasn't like a cool, ironic, hip, trendy thing to do, to be a gamer or whatever.
I wasn't that guy. Growing up, I was always like teased, but I think that's what helped me. Like everybody hated me because I was tall. So I was tall, I was quiet, I was like—
How tall are you?
Like 6'5".
And there's something about being taller, because I feel like I'm kind of in the same box. I'm 6'3", and something about the fact that I didn't want to play basketball, and I just wasn't like trying to be on some jock type thing. I definitely felt like I got a lot of from people as a young guy.
I mean, I still get it. They're like, oh, do you play ball or are you an athlete? I'm like,
I answered that question about 5 billion times when I was young. Like, exactly. Oh, you play basketball? No, I have no coordination. It's not happening.
Oh, so you can't play ball at all?
No, I'm trash.
Not a shot, not a dribble?
I mean, I feel like I should work on it, because maybe I could get somewhere with it. But you were never into sports and stuff. What do you think it was that drew you to video games? Because I'm same exact way. Obsessed with video games as a kid. Didn't want to go outside. Didn't want to be, you know, I was just kind of, I like that experience of just being insulated in that world.
I mean, I wasn't even like the type of kid that liked to stay in the house. My first sport that I ever played was tennis. So my mom had me in tennis. She was a single parent, so she had to take me out of tennis. Then she put me in baseball, so I had to get taken out of baseball. Then I was in basketball, got taken out of basketball. So I always liked sports, but I guess I was too shy to pursue it at that particular time in life. So I think that's what it was. I didn't come out of my shell until I started touching the internet. That's what kind of helped me.
What was it about fighting games in particular? Because just to date myself, like all through elementary school and then like halfway through high school, Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 2, and then kind of like around the time I was like 15 or 16. I feel like the last console game I really spent way too much time with was like Tony Hawk 2 and Final Fantasy 7 and that sort of era.
Yeah. So you're asking me What drew me to video games?
Yeah, and what about fighting games in
Fighting
particular?
games.
Because I had a big fighting game era in my life, but then I kind of just stopped at a certain point. And then when I see somebody like you streaming, I'm like, I missed that. Like I should have stayed with that.
I mean, what drew me to fighting games is like the competitive aspect. So I always liked playing like that, right? But I'm playing against the computer as a kid. So once I found out you could play online, that's when it became addicting. So it was like this game called Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. So I traded like 2 Sean John velours to my friend, got his Xbox, got his Ethernet. I was up to like 4 a.m. in the morning. The rest was crack. So Street Fighter 3 Third Strike online, that's what kind of got me into like fighting games on that type of level. And so growing up in LA, I was beating everybody in the neighborhood, you know, like, oh, I could beat you in Street Fighter, this and that. And I met this one kid who just me up in everything, and it just changed my perspective.
Really?
Yeah, so from that on, I was just like, damn, so there's a different aspect to fighting games.
So you really started like studying and working on the game and like trying to figure out how to be better?
Yeah, because there was a particular time where I cared about that. So I think the last time I cared about that was 2018. Yeah. And then I just completely flipped the script. I just was like, well, I'm not going to play competitive, so I'll just be a character. I'll just put it out there basically.
Right.
As a character.
Damn. So, okay. Like that feeling of loving a video game so much and just spending a lot of time with it and like not being able to go to bed because you're just having so much fun playing it. You had that in spades when you were younger, and then it just started to dissipate as you, like, I don't know. Why do you think that kind of went away with time?
It went away because I just got bored. I just felt like I got stagnant with it. It was like I could release this video of me playing Street Fighter, or I could like go over something in media. I think the first video I ever did to like, I guess, kind of get good views on YouTube that was different was, remember the H&M kid that wore the hoodie that said like Monkey of the Jungle?
Oh, yeah.
So I covered that. After that, I just like started doing different shit, reactions, food reviews. I just started changing my
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. But do you still have that feeling with video games ever? Like, or is that kind of faded into the background, that like addictive
A competitive
feeling of just being so into it? Yeah.
Nah, so I only game when I stream. So, I mean, I guess when I cut it on, but as far as like the urge of like need to being the best, like, nah, because there's no money in it. So
Really?
yeah.
So you could be the best Street Fighter player in the world and it doesn't mean anything financially?
It's not a real accolade. Nah, it's like
Really?
I mean, there's like $1 million tournament Capcom is holding this year, but
Right.
I mean the chances
Few and far between.
Exactly. So let's just say this: I can go on 20 auditions to try to be an actor, right? Or I could play a Street Fighter tournament and maybe win, or I could probably land a couple of auditions. So,
But it's like you're never going to do something with fighting games that's going to like take you to a higher level. It's just the deeper and deeper into the nerdy recesses of this hobby, right?
so I feel like I don't have to because my audience is different now. Like I still have that. So here's my fighting game audience. There's like a different audience. Like when people come up to me, they don't say, I know you for Street Fighter. So, oh man, it's when you went over this, that was crazy. When you talked about this, that was crazy. Oh, like I've been watching you for years. So it changed.
Yeah, because there's like a ton of video game type people who like want to transition into that, and it's actually really hard for people to follow you to that. So the fact that you have any kind of level of stickiness across the board with that, it's like it seems like anybody who's like really talented on camera at some point pivots away from the video game and more into the personality. All those phase guys ended up being vloggers and shit.
I mean, that's kind of like the transition I started to take in 2020. Started focusing on a different aspect. And I guess with my audience, I feel like I'm blessed because the second I stopped playing Street Fighter, they could have tuned out. So the fact that I could kind of do anything on stream, like, yo, they're like, yo, you gonna go over this topic, that topic, that topic? I'm like, should I cut on games? They're like, no, let's keep going over topics. So the height of my audience is no longer video games.
Right.
It's different now.
So, okay, at a certain point, your parents moved you out of South Central to where Antelope Valley?
Yeah, to the AV.
And what was that environment like as opposed to being in the city?
I mean, I still had issues, but not like LA issues. So it was a little bit more subtle. It wasn't as critical. I started to meet different kids because, you know, in LA, it was just like, you know, you had blacks, you had Hispanics. But now I'm like interacting with white kids for the first time, Asian kids for the first time. So things are a little bit different. Yeah.
And do you like it more? It was like less of a culture of sort of toughness and people fucking with each other?
I mean, I still had to like go through shit because I was still quiet and I was still tall. So people would still like try shit. I don't know. It's something about me where like people, they just want to try me. I don't know what it is. Even to this day on the internet, people still want to try me. I mean, you've seen a bunch of videos.
Yeah, but do you like walk through the Walmart and like some random guy wants to fight you?
Nah,
No, it's
nothing
not like that.
Nah, nothing like that.
Okay.
Nothing like that. That's actually never happened before. If anything, maybe these days, I guess, it's more so, oh shit, you should kill yourself guy. So it's more stuff like that.